Hi, my name is Abhishek Banerjee and you can catch me on the Bombay Film Story with Mayank Shekhar on midday channels.
Hello and welcome to the Bombay Film Story. My name is Mayank Shekhar. With me is an actor who's actually part of several Bombay film stories because he's also a casting agent. But of course, he has an amazing Bombay film story of his own. Abhishek Banerjee, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me here, sir.
You know, I have to say, Abhishek, एक तो जब भी मैं किसी को कहता हूँ कि आपसे मिलने वाला हूँ, the first thing they tell me is, oh, Hathoda Tyagi. Nobody ever refers to you by your name.
That's interesting.
And I have to ask you this. It's been, what, 5 years since you did Hathoda Tyagi? That's 2020.
Yeah.
You've done multiple films since.
Yeah.
Does it bother you that people just call you Hathoda Tyagi because... Or is it too soon for it to bother you? 10 years later, you might get upset.
Maybe, yeah.
You know?
10 years
like
later,
I know you're friends with Paresh
like,
Rawal and he hates being called Babu.
Babu. Yeah. But that's how the audience, I think they always have that one connection with certain character. And it's very difficult to break that connection is what I've understood. And the sooner you realize that, the happier you will be. And the same thing happens with me in probably smaller towns where I get Janas. You know, where people would like, hey,
From
Janaa,
Stree.
yeah. So, you know, aunties will come, Arey Janaa beta and all that. So I've started enjoying it. Earlier it used to bother me. I'm like, Arey yaar, ye ek hi character mein nahi phas ke reh jaun. But nahi, I mean, thankfully the filmmakers are not.
But would the first time that you've been on a poster and just realized it, because that's the first thing I want to talk to you about, is Stolen. Would that be the first time where the solo person in a poster?
Ajji was my first.
Were you solo in the poster?
Yes, I think I had some solo posters. I don't know actually. Maybe my eyes were solo.
That doesn't count. But this is literally you and no one else. Although there are about 2 other actors in the film. Is that something you've had as an actor, Abhishek? Like, you know, like I was speaking to Randeep Hooda recently. He was talking about how in his life all he ever wanted, or at least initially what he wanted, was to be in and as. And that really happened with his first film because he became in and as D. Yeah. Did you ever have this thing about ek din mera poster hoga usme main hi hounga? Is that because vanity is so much part of what you do, right?
Yeah, sure. I mean, of course, I think I've always imagined and dreamt of a scenario like that. And in fact, I said somewhere also that, you know, at the risk of generalizing male actors, I think all male actors have that one sapna of, you know, bloodied face and a close-up.
Really?
Yeah. It's really, I think it's very attractive on screen.
Basically, you're an action film. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly, right? So I think for me, I always want to be an action actor. Though I have done like comedies and dramas and all that, but I really enjoy action. Every time my action dadas or action masters are on set, I'm very excited and I'm like ready to roll with them. Because it's also like certain kind of choreography. So it tests my IQ or like, you know, so कि मैं सही mark पे hit कर पा रहा हूँ क्या. So to see myself, you know, in that kind of a blood, you know. And they also added a little extra blood on the poster. So I was like, make it more red. But my director was like, no, red nahi hoga.
But action is not something that can be taught, right? Because so many people really come into acting in terms of film acting from theatre, or they've done, you know, workshops and stuff where that choreography can't happen because it only happen before the screen, isn't it?
Yeah. I think comic timing and action timing, both can't be taught. I think it's very instinctive, it's very natural, it's how you are. Whether you can like make someone believe that that punch is real or not, it's just, I think it's a gift if someone has it.
And you're saying that's different from dancing, for instance.
Oh yeah, of course.
Because dancing is also a timing. That no matter what you do, Sunny Deol can't do it. But you can beat people up really well.
Yeah, and I think, but dancing, I think that if you practice it a lot, probably it's with action also, that if you practice it a lot, then you will get that timing. And I think Bollywood dancing is something which we all are somewhere.
We're all Bollywood dancers after a few drinks anyway.
Tuned in. And then of course, like how much you can like flex your body and be acrobatic about it is like years of practice, I think.
Right. So in that sense, because we are talking about Stolen, not exactly an action film, but it's an action-packed thriller in a sense. And of course, it, you know, opened on Amazon Prime Video. It's been watched globally. I see numbers, like crazy numbers in terms of trending across the world. But one of the things that I realized about the film, and I don't know if it's happened in the past, or at least to this extent, is the people who backed this movie, right? Vikramaditya Motwani, Anurag Kashyap. These two you would have known from before in any case, right? These are your dons of Warsaw where you operate.
Yeah, actually always I've known them, but not really spent a lot of time with them. Anurag sir to khair, like he was almost...
Papa hai na wo Warsaw.
हाँ, exactly.
Papa ही बोलते हैं ना. That is his name, isn't it?
Really? I know.
I have always heard him being called Papa.
Okay, I know. I was not in that clan probably. Okay. We always respected both these filmmakers. Like, of course, I think Black Friday, when we saw it in college, I don't know, I think we were blown away.
Right.
Are Ruk Jare Bande, that song was first played in Hansraj College.
Really?
Before the release of the film. So we were like...
As part of the college festival?
Yes. So we were like the first group of people who heard that song. So that kind of an effect, you know. And university days, those days, of course, we were like really charged politically, artistically, all of that.
As you should be.
Yeah.
Kabhi nahi to kabhi.
Exactly. So that drove us to come to Bombay. That really drove us, you know, the entire Ram Gopal Verma, the kind of films and the actors we were seeing that time, and the kind of films and actors which were getting cast in Anurag sir's films. I was a part of Dev D's casting journey for a brief period. Vasan was the associate. I was like an intern who was just trying to help them. So yeah, like we were actually charged up to come to Bombay and be a part of this kind of a revolution of cinema, which was happening that time. Hansal sir, you know, Dibakar Banerjee at his best game, you know.
Yeah.
So, but then we came and we were like, अरे यार ये तो directors सब बहुत busy हैं with their own kind of clan or the kind of actors they want to.
They already have a coterie.
Yeah, they already
भरे
पड़े हैं तो हमारी तो जगह पता नहीं कब आएगी. So I think then the whole idea was to like, okay, step back and just enjoy these filmmakers, you know, creating whatever these films they are creating. And we were like always the supporters, the audience who always I used to always buy tickets and go and watch these movies.
And there is Nikhil Advani. Of course, he's been your director.
Yeah.
You were the main villain in Veda, which is like this hardcore John Abraham actioner.
Yeah.
So that's a connection you already had.
It's very surprising that he forgets, but I actually chased Nikhil Advani. He's one of my, like, you know, also I think D-Day. I was supposed to cast for that, but something happened and I couldn't. And but when I saw the film, I was like, yaar, kya cool aadmi hai yaar. So for me, that cool quotient in a director is very important. That attracts me.
Right.
And in his films, you see, like, you know, the kind of editing, the kind of music and everything. Like, there's some guy who loves cinema. That's the idea I had. I chased him, and finally he called me, and he
What do
offered
you mean
me.
Chased him?
I used to, like, you know, whenever
Message
I used to
him?
meet him, not message him, but every
Stand
time
outside his house?
No, not
What
that
is
house.
chase?
I mean, for me, my chase, I'm a very shy guy. I can't do that. I'm really shy, and I don't know if I respect someone like Abhishek Banerjee, I respect a lot. I would love to work with him, but I don't know how to message him or tell him कि sir मुझे आपके साथ काम करना है. But every time I meet him, like, remember me, you know, remember me, like, you know, I'm.
दुआओं में याद रखना.
Yeah, I really like your work. I don't know if you like my work or not, but please give me work, like, you know. तो मेरा वो एक philosophy है of, like, you know, just wanting to collaborate with people who I like. And Nikhil sir was one of those. I used to, और भी हैं, कुछ भाव देते नहीं देते, but Nikhil sir ने थोड़ा भाव दिया. And every time I used to meet at like Soho House or यहाँ वहाँ तनगारे sir कब बुला रहे हो. And finally he allowed me on a Sunday, and he narrated Veda, and I was quite surprised that he wanted me to play the villain, you know, against John Abraham. Like,
Right.
I'm like, are you sure?
Yeah.
कहता नहीं मुझे तू ही चाहिए. You know, this is so that conviction. So I है यार, मतलब this kind of support these guys have given. It's like.
And what about Kiran Rao?
So that Karan Tejpal,
Karan Tejpal से याद आया, ये मैं पहले माफ़ी तो मांग लूँ. You know, I was writing a piece on Stolen, and I don't know what was in my brain. वो मेरे सबकॉन्शियस में पता नहीं क्या चीज़. करण तेजपाल को मैं त्यागी बुलाया जा रहा हूँ. But obviously I'm remembering हथौड़ा त्यागी. What else?
यही हुआ होगा.
What else could it be? But yeah, so sorry, Karan Tejpal. Sorry about the त्यागी.
Yeah, you also were sweet to like write it at in I think article कहीं आपने डाला भी था.
हाँ, मैंने माफ़ी मांग ली है publicly, but फिर से मांग लेता हूँ.
But we had a good laugh.
But that was the connection that they.
Yeah, so Karan, I think Karan's sister Tia. She has worked with Kiran, and I worked with Kiran long time back for Secret Superstar.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we cast the film.
Oh, so, nice.
Yeah, like the nascent stages of casting, you know, that was one of our first films, in fact, as casting.
So that girl in Secret Superstar is somebody that you guys found?
No, that was Dangal girl, no?
That was a young one from Dangal. That is true. That is
Apart from her, all the kids.
Right.
उसके अलावा जितने भी बच्चे थे, चिंतन विंतन सब थे, वो हमने ढूंढा था. So yeah, I mean, she came on board and she said that, you know, we need to do something about the film, and she was very sweet enough to talk about the film in some, you know, interviews and
on her own.
That. On her own.
In any case, she was doing
Actually, all of them were like trying to help the film on their own. You know, Nikhil sir saw it during Veda. I showed him some snippets. He loved it. He's like, yaar, ye kya hai? Kya banaya hai? Mujhe dikhao tum film. And then he organized a screening where all these other filmmakers came. They saw. Some of them could come, some of them couldn't. अनुराग सर saw it the last उस टाइम. हमने बहुत चेस किया पर वो बहुत बिजी थे. तो फाइनली उन्होंने देखा, उनका फोन आया, भाई क्या बनाया तुम लोगों ने, पागल हो या नहीं. वेंट लाइक वी हैड अ Zoom call, 2-3 घंटा बात की. So all of them were like supporting the film in pockets. Finally, I think one day Nikhil sir is the one who like got all of them. Together. Yeah, Nikhil sir and Vikram sir, they got the team. Then Anurag sir joined in, Kiran ma'am joined in, and then like they formed a team and took the film forward.
Right. I mean, it's unusual, but isn't it amazing that people who have nothing to financially gain from something will go out of the way, and it's not something that we see often enough, and I hope we see far more of it. The reason why I was surprised beyond these 4 people back in this film was those 2 people in the film itself. There is you, there's Shubham Vardhan, right? You guys are the 2 male leads playing 2 brothers, as I saw it. One is brain, one is heart, you know, that kind of a thing. But you guys have been on screen before.
Yeah.
In 2006, both of you were in Rang De Basanti. That is the first time you faced the camera, if I'm not mistaken. Is that a coincidence? Because it's the same scene, it's the same audition scene, shot in India Habitat Center, if I'm not mistaken. Same 2 actors, several years later playing leads.
Yeah, that's because Shubham and me are basically batchmates from college.
Oh,
yeah, Kirori Mal college. And we started theatre together. So, and we are best of friends. Even before coming here, I was talking to him. So it's been that, and I think we never collaborated after college, but during our college time, the kind of plays we were part of and the kind people used to always talk about our chemistry. And that stayed with me, like, you know, even with my journey where he went to FTI and started, you know, doing other stuff.
So he went to FTI to learn acting as well?
Yes. And I am somebody who did not give my exams. So I could not join FTI. My papa dete bhi nahi waise FTI ke paise. But, you know, that's what happened. That's where we like went in different directions. But we were always in touch. And I was very fond of his acting skills and, you know, just an overall understanding of cinema. And Luka Chupi, I had offered him a role also. Like, and Lakshman sir really liked it. But Bhai Sahab, that time he was training somewhere in Kerala. So he rejected that part. Or he could not do that part. And we had a fallout where I was like, yeah, you're not understanding, you know, things. And I'm like, oh,
and what was he doing in Kerala anyway?
He was learning, I think, Kathakali.
Okay.
Yeah. He's a very, like, you know, that kind of, he's really trained well. So yeah, and then we had differences. It was almost like similar differences between Gautam and Raman, if you see the film. You know, the very similar differences, ideological, you know, differences.
Oh really?
Yes.
So you are the guy from the film. You are the practical one in life in general.
Yes.
Whereas he happens to be more what he plays.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's exactly why for me, when the situation arrived where the one actor who was doing Gautam backed out and I had to fill in the shoes, and I'm like, okay, now I don't see anybody else but him as Raman. And why do we need another, you know, so-called famous actors? ऐसा नहीं है हम में से कोई भी box office पे ticket guarantee कर रहा है. So that means you're casting, you know, on the basis of acting. Then let's just cast another fresher actor. And and he will be an asset to the film, and that's exactly what Shubham was.
So you guys were in Kirori Mal college, and that's one thing I really want to speak to you about, Abhishek, because it's not widely understood the contribution of that one college from Delhi University towards cinema as an industry. And it starts all the way back from Amitabh Bachchan, who used to be an actor on stage in Kirori Mal, and now it's Abhishek.
There's a huge legacy. Mr. Bachchan, Kulbhushan Kharbanda, Satish Kaushik, Shakti Kapoor was also from our college. He was not from the Theatre Society though. Sushant Singh, like, who plays my elder brother in Rana Naidu, Devendu Sharma. I'm talking about actor Zishan Ayub.
Was Manoj Kumar also in Kirori Mal College?
Really?
I have a feeling that he was.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I have no idea about that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
I was
great.
just reading multiple obituaries of his.
Wow, interesting.
He passed away, and then one more person who turned out to be one of the big talents.
Wow, and then the I think there's a long list of directors: Ali Abbas Zafar, Habib Faisal, Victor, Kabir Khan, Himanshu
Kabir is
Sharma.
also from KMC.
Yes.
I mean, I know the Jamia angle of Kabir. I didn't know that he was in KMC before that. And players also.
Yeah, he's from
so what is happening?
These are all players. And Himanshu Sharma, the writer, Raj Shekhar, the lyricist.
So this is the Theatre Society or the Dramatic Society of KMC or Kirori Mal College. I'm presuming it existed when Amitabh Bachchan was also there.
Yes, in 1950s.
1950s. What is happening in this particular dramatic society that's turning out such amazing talents?
I have no idea. To
no
be very
clue?
honest, no clue. I think, but probably the kind of, I would say, like, we were a very open society where we could just say whatever we felt to each other, like, and it was not about like getting personal or something like that. It's about like talking about the craft, talking about a play which someone has put up, and
And none of these actors are actually learning acting. They're not doing BA honors in dramatics.
No.
This is still extracurricular activity.
This extracurricular
from whatever course that you're doing.
Yes, and some of them are ECA admissions. Like I was an ECA admission, Shubham was an ECA admission. So even though we scored like 64% in our boards.
So were you doing stage before that? Because that's why you will get entry.
Not really. Not really. It was all like, in school how you do your class plays and stuff like that. But there was no formal training of theatre. What happens is that there's a screening. Because of course there are like 4 seats which DU is offering, which each college and all that. Each college, it can be varied. But so now we were like going through a screening process, which is like a 2-day long process, where the professor, Keval Arora, the man.
I want you to talk about Keval Arora as well.
Keval Arora, the man, I think, the one who has trained all of us. Him, some of the teachers, and some third year students. This used to be the panel. And they used to like, and I have been in the panel also, like, and it's a big responsibility because you're actually like giving like 3 years to a student. So that's the kind of process we were in, and probably that's how my casting sense comes from. Because I was a part of these screenings and we used to do it very rigorously and religiously. And and I think the conversation, it's just that I always say that, things will be better if we just talk about it more. And that's what Plays is all about. Whatever we were doing, we were always talking about it, trying to find more ways of, making it good looking on stage.
So in that sense, once you joined, and it's not like you took formal training thereafter, and I know that Players wins all the trophies there are for dramatics in the calendar year. I think Rajpal, you guys win often enough.
We used to win
other festivals, Moodai and all these places. I mean, there
was a sense of arrogance in the Players gang about this. Which other colleges used to always notice, and they used to always say, we're like, no, we are not like that, we're just really cool. But of course we were like, we knew it. We knew that, if you're going to win a competition, we're going to win it.
And you will win it. And you do win it.
Yeah.
And obviously the teacher has a lot to do with it as well.
Yes, and Keval also taught us not to clap. So we were also the bunch of students who used to win but never clap.
Really?
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
Yeah, I mean, Keval, that's Keval for you. He's like, don't celebrate your win. Because this is not a winning platform. We are all showcasing our talent and play. And it's very rude to probably the other contestants to just celebrate this. So even though we were kids, and now I'm thinking like, come on, kya ek bar bhi hip hip hurre nahi bolne diya, cheer nahi karne diya. But that was the rule, that we used to never cheer. So it used to always be like, we won it, we just go on stage, take the prize and get out.
Because I've seen him referenced in one of Ali Abbas Zafar's film. I tend to forget the name of the movie. It had Katrina Kaif in it. And Imran Khan in it.
This was Mere Brother Ki Dulhan.
Mere Brother Ki Dulhan mein Keval Arora is kind of mentioned. And what is he teaching that's turning out such great talents from his table?
He's a theatre critic and he's an English professor. He has been with the society for over 50 years now. And he has been a staff advisor for over 20 years now. So he's just like, I think the biggest lesson Keval has taught, 2 lessons. One is professionalism and the second is to coexist. You know, we used to always act like a team. So when we're talking about a players group, you can't really have an individual character. It used to be a group character, and everybody used to believe in that group discipline and, you know, follow that. And no matter what, we used to always perform. You know, if there's a curfew outside, we used to actually smuggle our, you know, sets from the college and, you know, they go and, you know, perform wherever we are supposed to perform and come back. So that kind of pinpoint professionalism about everything we learned at a very young age. And that's why I think it's very easier for all the players, ex-players, students who come to Bombay, for them to actually manage and survive in the city. Because the city looks for that pinpoint professionalism. So somewhere down the line, everybody finds their way, whether in acting or writing or, like, you know, writing lyrics or whatever the interest of choice is. I have known so many of them being very good assistant directors. In fact, Stolen, the chief AD, was a player's student, ex-student,
Right.
Adya. The guy who plays the ambulance driver, he's from players. So, and we know that it's a guarantee that if you're calling a players guy or a girl, and we know that acha kaam ho jayega. So that's the kind of trust, I think.
So is that a strong alumni network in that sense? A very informal one, of course.
Yes.
But like everyone's in touch, you sort of figured out कि हाँ यार वहाँ से तो हो ही जाएगा. That kind of a thing. Is that something?
I mean, we all know that we will. I mean, everybody is in touch with everybody, but not that everybody is necessarily.
WhatsApp group होगा?
There is.
Them, I'm sure
there is,
yeah.
But we are not talking work there.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking work there.
Yeah.
And
can you message Amitabh Bachchan से मैं भी players का हूँ sir, काम दे दो.
I don't think anybody would do that also. I think that's also a dignity which players, you know, teaches you. That you don't really enter someone's space and, you know, ask for work. People will collaborate.
थोड़ा self-respect होना चाहिए.
थोड़ा हाँ बिल्कुल.
For your own art and your own self.
Yes.
Right.
And it's really deeply enrooted, like.
I mean, I'm sure that the legacy of Amitabh Bachchan must have played in your mind when you actually, I hear you shot with him.
Yeah.
That's a very big deal.
Yeah.
To be facing the camera with Amitabh Bachchan. Was that like a moment? I'm sure at that moment itself, is that something that you will cherish? I'm sure it's like something that's embedded in your mind, or once you're an actor, you're an actor. You can't be overwhelmed by these situations.
No. I'm very shameless when it comes to Mr. Bachchan. I think the only man I can fanboy, and I'll keep fanboying, is Mr. Bachchan. I think I have just grown up watching his films. I don't know, I'm sure he has affected many young boys in
But
India.
not your generation, I have to say.
Really?
Yeah, because you, I'm guessing, are a 90s generation.
Yeah.
So when, say for instance, I'm having a similar conversation with, say, an Imtiaz Ali, who goes berserk over Amitabh Bachchan, who cannot even approach Amitabh Bachchan for a role because he thinks because he thinks even Amitabh Bachchan doesn't know how big Amitabh Bachchan is. But that is a 70s guy. You know what I mean?
I love that.
In some form.
Yeah, probably he doesn't, I think. I don't think Mr. Bachchan knows how big he is. Like, you know.
हाँ, सारी फट जाएगा, अच्छी बात है. You know, and I think he overcompensates also. I think he tries very hard to be way more humble than any human being needs to be, right? So when you're in that moment, what was going through your mind? It's like, wow, right?
For me it was like a full circle. I was like, okay, मेरी journey, वो जो like of that kid dreaming and this and that, you know, always you have that story about one kid from India dreaming big and, you know, finally achieving something in Bombay. That circle was like, you know, complete. And from there, I feel my actor's journey has really begun. Yeah, and if you notice, 3-2 happened after that. Veda happened after that. Stolen has happened after that. So actually,
So you'd already shot Section 84 with Amitabh Bachchan.
Long time back. That film is not out yet. Whatever.
Yeah.
But I wanted to become an actor because of him. I joined Kirori Mal college because I wanted to be in the same college where Mr. Bachchan is. So I had no clue about players. Zishan happens to be my school senior.
The actor, Zishan
Ayub.
Yeah.
ठीक है, तो मैं उनसे I spoke to him and I'm like, I want to get admission in your college.
He's your senior from school?
Yeah.
Okay.
I never met him in school, but my best friend, his elder brother is his best friend. So like that kind of a...
Right.
Delhi is all about jugaad. So you just...
तू
जानता है इसको. So Zishan came and met me and then I told him that how much money do I have to bribe? Like, you know, to get an admission, and like, hey, you don't have to bribe and all. You just need to clear an audition. I'm like, what kind of audition? He's like, theatre audition. I'm like, मैंने तो कभी theatre देखा ही नहीं है. Then he suggested me some plays. I went and watched those plays, and that's how I got admission in, Kirori Mal College, and that was a big moment for me. Because as a child who probably manifested or, planned something and he achieved that, I think my dad was very surprised. Because he never thought that I'll get an admission in a North Campus, Delhi University, which is really prestigious. So I got through that and I was like, yeah, I'm in Mr. Bachchan's college. And then all 3 years, they used to always make fun of me because I used to always mimic Mr. Bachchan, also try to act like him. So Keval really broke me as an actor. Because I had this presence of, talk like Mr. Bachchan and all that. And in my first play, I know that he just broke my body. And that was the beginning of my journey, my self-journey as an actor, where my body was not attractive. It was loose. And when I was talking very slow, which is not the usual hero delivery. And he broke me. So then I had this mix of Mr. Bachchan and then there's this actor.
Former Mr. Bachchan.
Former Mr. Bachchan. And even till date, whenever I have to do some bass, I'm very scared कि मैं उनकी तरह बोलने लगूंगा. So it's a thing which I keep telling myself कि भाई, yeah, get inspired, probably take it ahead, but don't copy. That's something.
You had to really take Amitabh Bachchan hangover off your brain in order to be a decent enough actor.
Yes. Even till day, I keep fighting that.
Wow, seriously?
Yeah. तो मुझे बोलते हैं बच्चन हो रहा है ये कुछ और करता है. So that's how I have tried to.
So when you told him this, and I'm sure he's used to it, and it must be like anybody who meets him is sir pagal hi ho gaye, right? It's the same reaction he gets from everyone. What was that like?
So I was warned that he doesn't like a lot of chaplusi.
He's tired of it,
yeah, right.
60 साल से चले जा रहे हैं.
I'm sure, you must be tired. No, I was like, what do I do to show respect? So I went for the feet.
Oh.
Because that's the first reaction. Senior hai ghar mein tu. And he immediately snapped at me like, hey, kya kar rahe ho? And I'm like, arey, sorry. And then I'm like, oh shit, this is not a good start. Then Ribhu, of course, is sweet guy, and he knows.
Ribhu is the director of Section 84.
Yeah. So he came to me and he's like, arey, chal told me. And then he went and said, ki sir, ye aapke college ka hai, players ka. And suddenly, see, that's what with players. No matter if I'm meeting some stranger right now and he says players, main dost hu uska. I can spend the entire afternoon.
It's secret society hai.
Secret society.
Illuminati.
Cult hai.
Of actors.
Hanji. And he immediately turned, arey, tum players ke ho baito. And we started talking and all that. So yeah, that's it. It was that easy. And then after a point, he became for me, he was like my college senior. I forgot that he's Amitabh Bachchan. But one incident I'll never forget is that where I had a scene with him and I'm playing a lawyer in the film and he's in the witness box and he rehearsed the scene with me and then he's like, okay Abhishek, I'm going to look into your eyes now, I'm going to make eye contact. So I'm like, yeah, of course. In my head, I'm like, yeah, obviously you'll make an eye contact. So what's the big deal with it? Co-actor will make eye contact. So I'm very confident, And the take started. And I looked at him and he looked at me. And with those glassy eyes, he just continued staring at me. And I was delivering my lines, but it was so difficult to focus. Because now I understood that, oh no, he's right here. And all those flashes of all his films from Diwar to Agnipath and this and I'm like, hey, control man, just finish your lines. It was very tough. And I realized that, that's the kind of...
And he had warned you.
He had warned me. So
and this is an OTS shot, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Huh. It was his close-up and I'm supposed to... It was not on me, but still it was very difficult for me to hold my ground and finish my lines. So that's the day I realized that...
Which is your favorite Amitabh Bachchan movie? Because you're a 90s person, I can think of a few. Because if you would have first experienced him really on the big screen, right?
The first time I experienced him was on TV. I was a Rajinikanth fan.
You were a Rajinikanth fan?
I was staying in Chennai.
Okay.
So I actually grew up watching Tamil films. So Rajini sir and Kamal Hassan. These were my...
your team Rajni or team Kamal, or does it?
It's a very difficult, very tough one. Yeah, very tough.
But you can be in both, na?
I think I'm ekdam beach mein. I think I'm ekdam in the center. I can, whoever calls me for a hug, I'll go. I met Kamal sir recently, so now I'm Kamal sir team. But yeah, so I grew up watching all those movies, and my parents were worried that this guy is turning out to be a Tamil son now. because my accent had become like that. I was talking in Tamil, you know, Hindi पीछे था कोई. So then Hum. It was, I think, DD में दूरदर्शन में उस time Hum was premiering. It was a big deal that time. That Hum आ रही है picture.
हाँ, DD में बाद में आई होगी.
हाँ, तो I saw that, and that day I flipped. I'm like, who is this guy? Like, you know, and then started watching all his films. I think my favorite till date is Diwar. That's my all-time Bachchan favorite film.
Tell me about this Rajni, Kamal Hassan, Chennai story. Like, I didn't know you had a Chennai story.
Yeah. I mean, I stayed for 5 years, and I very much feel
Which
like
years? I mean, like in your lifetime, what is it?
I think
between your teenage years.
When I was from 4th standard to 9th standard, so almost like my childhood was there. That's why my taste palette is also very South Indian. You know, so
no, that is true for everyone here.
Yeah.
Morning breakfast क्या आदमी करता है इंडिया में? डोसा ही खाता है ना.
हाँ, मतलब अगर घर में अच्छा डोसा बने वो वाला जो मद्रास में बनता है.
हाँ, in the sense that we don't have in North India doesn't have a breakfast.
Yeah, parathas.
Bread paratha is too strong. It's too much. सुबह 8 बजे paratha makes no sense.
Yeah.
But a dosa is pretty light on the tummy, na?
Yeah,
it's in South India's contribution to the rest of India.
And what a contribution! I mean, I
phenomenal contribution.
I used to love it. So yeah, 4th to 9th standard. So I started watching all these films like Padayappa and Arunachalam and then Kamal Hassan films, Layakam and all that, like, you know, in Tamil language. Even till today, I actually watch a lot of Tamil films in Tamil language.
And you can speak it?
Yeah, konjo.
Konjo.
Yeah.
So basically you have another full freaking industry you can have a job.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And Bengali.
And Bengali, of course.
Yeah.
But Bengali इतना बड़ा नहीं है अभी as a movie industry. I think Tamil you'll kill it, यार.
Yeah. I'm
like a Hathoda Tyagi version in Tamil would be like madness.
Yeah. In fact, I'm doing something. I can't talk about it, but yeah, I'm doing something.
With Rajni sir?
No.
Not yet.
No.
That's yet to happen.
Yeah.
So okay, so there is. I'm guessing this is because your dad is in a government job.
Yeah, CISF.
And he's getting posted into.
Yeah.
So Kalpakkam CISF would be what?
Nuclear power.
The nuclear power plant.
Yeah,
that's what we were taught in school. I remember.
There
are 4 nuclear power plants. One of them is Kalpakkam. Yeah.
It's a huge one.
Bombay is another here in Mumbai that we're at. That's a huge one, right?
Yeah.
And where was he posted before that?
Delhi. So he was on the headquarters, and then he came to Bombay. He went back to Delhi, and then he was deputed to NSG. Then we stayed there for 14 years.
I did. आजकल Google search नहीं करते हम chat GPT करते हैं. So I did type. What did Abhishek's dad do? And it's, ChatGPT says Black Hat Commando.
Yeah, NSG is that, like, so it's a special forces.
Like, that's pretty cool. I'm going to ask him about
special forces. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, that's why I think it was very. Like my dad wanted me to get into the army. Like he was very sure that Purulia bhejenge this that. I'm like, yaar, main nahi kar raha. I've seen you, doing all the suffering, and I want to live a normal
chill life.
Yeah. So that's what I chase for that. Just
and quite
unusual for my dad. Yeah.
You're the only child.
Yeah.
Right. That's amazing. So Delhi is where you were at when you were in Kirori Mal. You made the move from Delhi to Mumbai, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This would be which year, Abhishek?
2006, I passed out from college, and I think 2 years I stayed in Delhi. I started earning money in Delhi. I worked in NDTV. I worked with some voiceover companies. Just to do all of that. I did a DD show also. Doordarshan ka ek show bhi kiya maine. And that's when I started casting a little in Delhi. Because I knew a lot of theatre actors and otherwise. So that's where I met Gautam. And then he offered me a job in Bombay. Ki tu Bombay aega to I'll give you work. So it was not really an acting job which
Gautam
Kishan Chandani,
who's a casting director.
Yes.
So you met him in Delhi while I'm guessing he was casting for Dev D.
Yeah.
Right. So he got in touch with you or you got in touch with him?
No, I think Anmol, my partner, we met at some random B-grade film audition where...
Who, Gautam and you?
No, Anmol, my partner.
Anmol and you, your partner at the firm that you run, the casting firm.
Yeah, and he's my junior. So he's from Ramjas, I'm from Kirori Mal College. And somehow he and me met at this random B-grade film audition where the producer wanted to cast
in
me
Delhi.
In Delhi. वो मुझे हीरो का रोल दे दिया था।
B-grade तो बहुत ही B-grade होगा यार।
नहीं बॉम्बे के लोग थे सर।
अच्छा।
वो बॉम्बे से आए थे वहाँ। उस टाइम पता नहीं था B-grade C-grade क्या है। बॉम्बे पिक्चर बन रही है and that were 3 guys and they said कि अरे तेरे में बात है। And they cast me. They got me and I was like a hero in some random film. And then the next day वो उसका जो लड़का था वो आया कहता है नहीं तेरा रोल मैं करूँगा. So I'm like, यार ये क्या random चीज़ें हो रही है?
It's a porn film or?
No. It was some friends. I don't know whether something was. I mean, कुछ तो music, गिटार वो अजीब फिल्में बनती थी ना, चार लड़के गिटार बजा रहे हैं.
Long titles and गाने उन्हें चलेंगे.
Some random shit it was. And that's where I met Anmol Bhatt. So then he was
also an aspiring actor, I'm guessing.
I don't know. I think he never.
What was he doing there anyway?
He never disclosed me.
But वो तो क्या कर रहे थे आप जहाँ मिले होंगे तो?
मैं तो ऑडिशन देने आ रहा था.
तो वो क्या कर रहे होंगे?
वो पता नहीं शायद वो भी ऑडिशन देना है वो माना कभी नहीं हो. Because every time I asked him to actor बनना चाहता नहीं मुझे एक्टर नहीं बनना मुझे एक्टिंग नहीं आती. So but anyway so that's where in a way sort of our friendship grew and then he one day told me that okay Devdi बोल के एक film है अनुराग sir की why don't you come and audition for it and Vasan Bala was the associate and Gautam sir was like the casting director and I auditioned for something and I didn't get the part but Gautam said that why don't you stay back and give cues to other actors. So I'm like yeah, I don't mind that. I started doing that and I enjoyed that. Then he told me that if you come to Bombay I'll offer you an assistant job. So that was my biggest motivation.
So that's one of the rare cases where someone moves to Bombay with the promise of a job already.
Exactly.
That's a big one, right?
Exactly. So every time someone asks me कि तो हिम्मत कहाँ से है, I'm like yeah, because I had one safety net. I knew that this one man wants to work with me and he's a big guy.
Big enough guy. Yeah.
You know, so
and a legit guy.
And a legit guy.
Yeah.
कोई ऐसा बेवकूफ नहीं बना रहा. And also from my favorite director's team.
हाँ, Anurag.
Yeah.
Papa.
Yeah, we never called him that. But yeah, so that is how I think I came to Bombay. First I thought I'll struggle like the way actors do and go for auditions and all that. I went and I saw that this is not something which I can do. In line mein khada rehna, bheed. So almost like a ration ka dukan, that's how they...
Badly treated also, you think?
See,
What
can somebody do with...
A small room and 100 people.
It's very difficult to crowd manage. हमारे पुलिस वाले नहीं कर पाते. So I don't want to blame the fraternity because I'm like I understand it's very difficult to manage crowd and not everybody comes with that expertise also or common sense.
Yeah.
So I realized that okay this is not, but that time of course it was like a bitter experience. Like यार how can they like ask you to act like Shah Rukh Khan? कि शाहरुख खान की तरह डायलॉग बोलता हूँ. ये क्या बात है? हाँ, this is how audition is to be.
शाहरुख खान की तरह. 2008.
9 or 10. Yeah. You go for these meetings where people would be saying like, yeah, show me your photo. And I used to always find it very surprising, like I'm here, like you can just...
I'm already here.
Yeah, you can take my audition right now. कहते नहीं photo से ही लूँगा audition. तो मुझे समझ में नहीं आता था कि photo का क्या मतलब है. So then I did some odd casting jobs and thankfully Gautam started Once Upon a Time in Mumbai. So that became my first job in Bombay, the first legit film job.
So, okay, I'll give you a brief background to this. Like, for instance, I'm from journalism, right? There are enough people in my profession who join, and it doesn't need to be film related, film journalism related, it could be anything. They join because they get access to people as a result of being a reporter first. आप किसी politician से मिल सकते हो या किसी businessman से मिल सकते हो, उसके बाद आपको कोई नौकरी मिल सकती है. And actually वो इस job में interested है नहीं.
ऐसा हुआ है क्या लोगों के साथ?
हुआ है.
Wow.
होता होगा.
Okay.
Right? But I know that the intention was not to do this profession. It was actually use this to get into another profession. Would that be true for you? Because you actually got into casting, but you actually wanted to be an actor. But this casting is going to give you direct access to all these directors anyway.
Of course. I think it's a very, as I said, it's a common sense wali baat hai. Because I was like, okay, I am not getting any access to directors like this. But if I am a casting assistant, it's a very easy access. Like, I'm sitting with directors, I'm sitting with filmmakers. They're also hearing my cues, my dialogues. So I'm like hoping that ये मेरे dialogue सुन के बोलेगा कोई कि अरे कौन है ये लड़का, like, get. And that happened. In Milan Nuthria, he loved my cues.
Okay.
And he offered me a role in Once Upon a Time in Mumbai. And that role went to Anjum Sharma later. Sharad jo karta hai Mirzapur mein. But yeah, the first time I got my first role was in that film.
Why didn't you take it up?
No, I did not. It's not that, something happened. I think they changed their mind. It didn't come to me, it went to someone else, which is okay. So, but that thing is that I thought it's going to be that easy, but it turned out to be way more difficult than...
Why do you say that?
Because I don't know, I was actually not able to crack any of the auditions where I was a part of. So I think after that, I did a film called Knockout where I didn't think I fit, like, I didn't want to do any of those parts. And I'm also very choosy. I was very choosy that time also. So ऐसा नहीं कि मुझे कोई भी फिल्म आ रही है मैं कर रहा हूँ तो मुझे लग रहा है कि मैं इसमें कुछ मिल जाएगा मुझे. Not like. In No One Killed Jessica, Raj sir, he offered me Manu Sharma's friend's role, Zishan's friend. I said no, I don't want to do it. So he's like, what do you mean? I don't want to do it. Give me that pick. So he gave me pickpocket. So I would like happy to do those kind of parts. And I was not able to crack it. I don't know. I was not able to even crack auditions. People were not calling me for auditions, to be very honest.
So, I mean, while you're a casting director, you would go for auditions of other films.
I would have. I tried reaching out to many casting directors, but nobody was really showing any interest. I don't know why. So, probably I was bad.
I mean, again, there's no good or bad. It's too subjective, isn't it?
I don't know. Maybe I was not very good at auditions, what I feel now. Because I tried giving some auditions, I didn't crack. I couldn't crack it. And for Ghanchakkar, I think it took me 8 years to finally, for some director to tell me that, okay, I want to act, work with you. It was Dev Makhija. When he offered me Agli Bar and Tandav, those short films, and then finally Ajji. Yeah, it was quite a uphill task. In fact, for Ghanchakkar, when I gave an audition and Raj sir rejected it, Gautam rejected it, Gautam तो मेरी मतलब वाट लगा देता था. Like, कि तू करना ढंग से करना, acting क्या कर रहा है. So, and these are like serious guys. Gautam has like cast Nawaz and all. तो ये नवाज को ढूंढ के लाए थे. और या ढूंढ के लाए थे या मतलब पूरा भरोसा दिया था कि I know that he's a good actor. So these are like, they mean business. And Rajkumar Gupta, like, they're like terrific director. So when these guys were not happy with my performance, I'm like, yeah, there's something wrong with probably me or like, whatever I'm doing on screen. And it helped me because it also made me realize that probably I need to do some tweaks for camera. And that's what I did. Probably in those short films or TVF shows, and that became my practice net.
So you were happy to learn even before the camera. It doesn't need to be a film. It doesn't need to be television. It can totally be YouTube.
Yeah.
It's amazing. You're the second person I've had on this series with a similar story. Because
really?
Gajaraj Rao.
Oh, interesting.
Because Gajaraj Rao was doing smaller roles, and he just happened to do TVF stuff. Stuff on the Viral Fever, and he realized कि भाई ये क्या चल रहा है, यहाँ तो लोग मुझे देख रहे हैं, and this is legit stuff. Because I think, Abhishek, correct me if I'm wrong, when you moved, you were seeing, say, Anurag or a Dibakar. These were the big guys. They were at the peak of what they were doing.
Yeah.
The new stuff stopped happening in Bombay.
Yeah.
And the new stuff started happening in YouTube,
Yeah.
not in Bollywood or not in the Bombay film industry. Would that be correct to say?
Yeah.
We have not had a great director in some 15 years now,
Yeah.
of the same caliber in terms of same following as an
You're
Anurag or a
absolutely
Vikram.
right.
I mean,
Absolutely right.
Right?
Yeah.
So you found your little home in TVF. I mean, I recently saw you in this random reel of you as Vijay Mallya with Jeetu, who's interviewing, and of course it became big because of the Raj Shamani podcast with Vijay. What was that? What are you doing?
So see, the thing is that with me, I was like, I get bored of one job. It's a thing. Okay. So when I was casting, I was like, okay, I'm enjoying this, but I want to do something more. I want to act. Why do I act? And if I'm not acting, what can I do? So I'm like, okay, let me direct something. And that's when the whole idea of Daru Pe Charcha came. And I directed those 3 episodes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I co-wrote them. And Shubham, in fact...
We're talking about pictures.
No. Daru Pe Charcha. This
Daru Pe Charcha sorry.
It's like loose talk.
Achha, I didn't even know it's called Daru Pe Charcha. I just saw the reel में ये क्या चल रहा है?
ये निकाल दिया है क्योंकि थोड़ा controversial है. But loose talk को हमने basically tribute दिया था. And Jeetu was the guy, and we had like different characters
who would come to be interviewed by him.
Yeah,
right.
And I played Vijay Mallya. So that was that.
You also directed this.
Yeah, with Shubham Stolen. So he was also there. So the collaboration was like happening since then.
Oh wow.
Because I'm like, I can't wait for someone to like give me an opportunity. I believe in that philosophy. I would try to do something with it. And I produced a show for TVF which was Inmates. एक ही season आया. Raghav and Kashyap, they now write for Hansal Mehta. But yeah, that's and Players. Raghav is from Players. So this was a Players gang making this. TVF Pictures, I think Nidhi Bisht was the casting director and she was also writing, I think, some episode. I'm not sure whether she was writing or not. She wanted to give that audition for me, like, no, and I was like very skeptical because I'm like, ek scene ka role hai, uspe bhi audition do. TVF actually gave me that confidence of, again, you know,
being before the camera.
Yeah.
So are you telling me that until TVF happened, you kind of reconciled yourself with the fact कि casting director ही बनता हूँ, क्योंकि कोई वैसे भी तो role में ले नहीं रहा है. And what's up? Yeah.
That is why I opened Casting Bay. Otherwise, my plan was very simple to like cast for some years and then gradually move into acting. But when acting was not happening, and Anmol and me decided that okay, now casting has taken off. People are offering us jobs. We're getting ads. We're getting shows. And we were the first ones to start doing web shows because we were film casting directors, and none of the film guys would actually want to go to web because web was smaller. But we were the first. Inside Edge, Mirzapur.
That is true.
You know, that was us. And TVF. And I always thought that the web space was a great space to experiment with newer actors.
You know, it is so true in the sense that now that we've had about 9 years of web, and really the best contribution of OTT platforms is the ensemble cast.
Yeah.
Because they could be in movies, but you barely remember them.
Yeah.
Now they can have full-length freaking roles going in, and it's almost like film. It's not like TV in the way it's done, right? It's almost like a casting director's medium.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I thought. This is a golden opportunity for us to create that bank of actors for the industry, which we would not be able to create in films.
So you decided कि अब यही करेंगे अब?
हाँ, हमने बोला यार ये करते हैं.
And side में कुछ बच्चे आए हैं तो उनके साथ मैं TVF का कुछ कर लेता हूँ, acting तो आती है. हाँ, that's what was going on.
Yeah. I was doing like odd jobs and like हाँ चलो कैमरा के सामने let's try. No, let me try this, let me try that, and it just took off. And I was whatever, like, you know, Humorously Yours happened, my Bushi, that character became famous, and that's why I came on Instagram. Otherwise मैं Instagram पे भी नहीं था. Then TVF guys only said कि नहीं यहाँ पे आना, fans आ रहे हैं. I'm like okay. So that's how all this started happening, and because of Tu Beer Hai, Devashish Makhija wanted me to act in his film. Then because of Dev, Amar sir saw Ajji and then he cast me in Stree. So all of that happened like a web of Aram Nagar mein hi hua ye sab. And the fact that the strategy that one director will notice you, it worked, but that those directors were not established one. They were newer directors. So I worked with all first timers like Dev Makhija, Amar Kaushik, Karan Anshuman, Inside Edge.
Yeah.
So I was just working with, and all of them are like,
and TVF.
Of course, TVF.
I mean, the connection that you possibly could have with TVF, I can only think of one, is the fact that, if I'm not mistaken, you would consider Kharagpur as your second home? In certain way?
In many ways, yeah.
And these guys are from IIT Kharagpur. All of them are from IIT Kharagpur. I'm guessing you didn't know them then, right? It's just a coincidence. What's it like growing up in Kharagpur?
No, I didn't grow up in Kharagpur.
Not really?
It was my Nanihal and Dadihal, both. My maternal and paternal families both from there, and so it's like whenever I go there, for me it's family. Home. That's the only connection I have from Kharagpur.
So it's a family connection. You don't have like any real life experiences coming from there, because it's a pretty boring town here. I've been there once, and it's like there is nothing to do. I'd gone to give a talk at IIT Kharagpur, and I hung out with them only. वो एक Domino's जाते हैं और वहाँ पे that's their only date point, and then that girl, because she has multiple options, homework करवा देती सबसे. But then these boys, they all came from there, and you know, they really had all the time in the world to work on themselves at IIT Kharagpur to really start TVF. It's a fabulous story, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think they're the first ones to start this whole web revolution. In India.
And then Tu Beer Hai happens. That's a turning point for you in some ways?
Yeah, it was a turning point for me because I realized that if people like my dialogue delivery or like acting, because it was quite surprising that one line became such a cult line. Even today people will say that.
It doesn't mean much, It's like कि तू अंदर है bottle में आता, that means you're stuck in a corporate world. And you have to open it and you have to flow. Go with the flow.
And you have no idea how many people have come to me and said that because of you, we ended up, quitting our jobs and starting our own business.
Shit, seriously?
Yes. There are many like
to
that.
Beerhead, just that line.
That line actually inspired a generation.
It's the mere paas maa hai from the web revolution.
Yeah. So that it became that for me.
Whose line is it?
Biswapati Sarkar.
Biswapati Sarkar. Right. He was the main writer for TV at the time, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Biswa.
And of course, the other iconic scene for you would be Hathoda Tyagi. I'm coming back to Hathoda Tyagi.
Yeah, then Janaa was quite I was very worried when I did Stree. Because I didn't understand whether the pitch of my performance is right or not. Because Ajji was a very different film. And I was coming from that kind of a situation to a commercial film like Stree. And the way it was received, I was very like, okay, chalo, matlab, this also can be done. Because it's a very different process, I feel. Commercial acting is different.
But you see shades of your role in Humorously Yours in Janaa as well, right? There's a bit of I'm a time pass kind of guy. ज़्यादा ambitious नहीं हूँ.
But more goofy. Not taking yourself seriously, and I didn't know that I have a smile which is probably funny or something like. There's so many things you start discovering about yourself
when you see yourself in the camera.
Yeah, and also when people talk about it. When they talk about it, I'm like, acha, okay, this is working. Oh, my eyes look evil to someone, they look cold to someone and they look very bright to others. So it's a very different thing. You start learning about yourself through your performances. That started happening, after Stree, after Paatal Lok. Because Paatal Lok I was vouching for, because Stree really put me in a spot where everybody was trying to offer me these goofy characters. And in life I'm not, I take myself, I'm not a sissy boy.
Yeah, you want to be action star.
Yeah, exactly, right? So you want a bloody close-up. And they were all offering you chamkila shirt and rangeen chashme. And everybody would say, ये बड़ा quirky role है. तो मुझे लगा ये क्या हो रहा है यार? So, and I was doing Dream Girl, I did Bala. So after that too, it became like that only.
Right.
Yeah, I was quite worried. In fact, Aankh Micholi, the film I did where I was playing a Hakla, I realized that ये क्या हो रहा है? All my this very similar pattern of characters. And now what do I do to break it? And thank God I had Paatal Lok. Thank God Sudip Sharma. He saw Hathoda Tyagi from Janaa. I don't know how he correlated the two. But he saw Janaa and he said कि कुछ पागलपन है, I want you to play Hathoda. And when that came out, then the kind of attention which I got from everyone saying कि अच्छा ये अच्छा किया, this, that.
Which is one of the reasons why, Abhishek, I mentioned to you about how the OTT could be the casting director's medium, because if you were a movie actor and you'd done Janaa, you'd be playing Janaa all your life. Because you've had entire history of film actors where it doesn't matter. Like say, when I look at say someone like a Brijendra Kala, or a Rajendra Gupta, they've been doing the same role for 30, 40 years, and I'm sure there is more to them than those roles. But OTT changed that.
Yeah.
Like say a Jamil Khan, if he's the lead, he's as good as a lead in Good Luck, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, in movies, he'd just be the same ape. In that sense, what do you think of those? What they were called character actors. I mean, because you're a casting director yourself, what do you think of the entire lot of character actors who literally played the same character all their life here?
Yeah, I think I always felt that there is a extreme need of reimagination characters. And that I think Gautam taught us beautifully. To reimagine a cop. We've always seen cops who are fit on screen. Maybe a cop who's lazy on screen. And then you see a Manoj Pava kind of performance in Anubhav Sinha, that movie.
Yeah, Article.
And you see a Manoj Pava doing something magical. And that's the kind of brief we started, getting for casting. And that's exactly why I was a little worried also. I'm like, yaar, ye similar pattern ho raha hai, to will I also fall in the same category?
Yeah.
Of, playing goofy guy in movies or, stuff like that. But I think today, I can say that comfortably we can be like, we can actually decide on which path we need to take. It's going to be a more slower path probably. There are many financial decisions which you need to take when you're saying no to stereotypes. Because stereotypes also guarantees you a certain paycheck.
Right.
It's proven.
Yeah.
So when something is proven, then you also you're guaranteed some kind of brand value or money and all that. So it's also like a risk-taking decision whether you want to stop yourself from doing that. And and it might work, it might not work,
but you have to learn that power of saying no.
No.
That's pretty much what it is, isn't
it? Yeah. And I always tell the youngsters that you need to figure out your finances to actually be able to say no.
When you moved in, say 2008 till when we are right now, 2025, I get a sense, Abhishek, that it's becoming harder and harder for people to live in Bombay.
Yeah.
I know that startup friends of mine, they don't want to start anything in Bombay because even if they get like an IIM Ahmedabad guy, he doesn't want to live in some random dig. अभी बेचारा वहाँ से आया है पढ़ लिख के आया है, उसको तभी एक छोटा सा कमरा मिलेगा, पता नहीं कहाँ रह रहा होगा. Even though he's done the best so far, because Bombay you can't afford anymore. Do you think that's happening in the entertainment world as well? कि जो struggler कहाँ रहेंगे कहाँ भाई? Now your cheapest apartment is bloody some God knows how many thousand a month.
I always say that we have to fight against the whole situation where this can't become just like a rich man's medium. Because it's at that
We're
risk.
Getting there.
It's at that risk where it is going to be very difficult for people from underprivileged classes or like middle class to come and shine through. Because what happens is that it's not only about your performances and stuff. It's also about your PR game. It's also about your brand appearances. It's also about the kind of clothes you're wearing in events and stuff like that. And it's not easy to afford all of that. So what does one do? Because it's like you have to keep that balance of show business and plus
the rent
art,
to pay,
plus the rent to pay and all of that. So it is kind of tricky, and that's I think main fight.
Is that something you're noticing in terms of the fresh talents that you see coming down to Mumbai? You don't see that many people from the lower middle class because they simply can't afford it. They've been maxed out. They've been priced out of the city. पता नहीं कितना दूर रहेंगे यार. मीरा रोड के आगे भी कितना ही जगह होगा.
कितना ही जाएंगे. Correct. And it's a situation.
You sense
I see so many of the talented ones leaving the city because they can't afford the city. Yeah, and now I think what's happened also is that 2018. These are all my own
the theories only
analogy, right? It's for me. It's like 2018 was the beginning of a new era. Okay. Not only because my films were releasing that year, also because films like Andhadhun, Badhai Ho, Mirzapur came, Stree came. So if you see the kind of web or theatre में जो चल रहा था, it was a new wave. Inside Edge उसी साल के beginning में आया था, something like that.
Right.
So 2018 was Sacred Games.
Yeah.
So it was like that new wave of entertainment, Indian entertainment for the audiences. 2020 तक seal हो गया deal. जिन actors को आना था, they came. Many of the directors came in, and the new industry started. Now it's become very difficult for the fresh ones to shine. That is what the situation is, because that COVID period actually elevated a lot of careers. And now it's like the elevated ones are of course doing their
now they have a career ahead of them.
Yeah.
There's no space for the new ones.
There's no space for the new ones to come. So many times, when they will say, I've done a show, it's a lead, this, that, but I'm still not getting that push. I'm like, it is a situation where it's very difficult, because the ones who have started, shining in the last 4-5 years, probably they are getting their due now.
Including you.
Yeah, me and many of my other contemporaries. You see a Jaideep, you see a Vijay.
Yeah.
You see others like Divendu. All of them पिछले 5 साल से चल रहा है. They all are doing something. Vikrant. So that kind of shift is still happening. So the new ones, they're finding it difficult, I feel, to get that.
But that's where someone like you comes in, right? Though I'm told that you're not actually in a nuts and bolts game of casting at the moment. You don't have the time, but you of course run the agency. But when you go to another town, you actually go to another town to find people, right? And that's where new talents come in. Is that what you're doing? Even if they don't live in Mumbai, you could actually go to a Jodhpur or another, like say a Jaipur or a Punjab somewhere to actually find people. Is that how it works?
Yeah, and we used to do that a lot even now, but I feel it's very difficult for if you don't stay in Bombay, it's a little difficult to make that career. वो बाहर से होना थोड़ा मुश्किल है. You might get your first opportunity, But then you have to like be in the city, be in the game
to be
like,
seen.
To be seen, yeah.
So you could go and cast from Delhi, but that person would have to move to Mumbai if they really need more work emanating from that particular casting. They can't live elsewhere and figure it out.
I don't think so. I don't think that's a good idea. Especially if you want to be in the center of the business.
Right. I mean, it took you what, 8 years?
Yeah, 8 years for me to get my first break, even though I was a casting director, which is a crazy thing, right? That I couldn't even crack some of the important auditions of my time.
You know, there was a whole controversy when Paatal Lok came out, right?
Yeah.
कि ये क्या है, ये जज भी है और ये लॉयर भी है.
हाँ.
ये कास्टिंग एजेंट भी है और अपने आप को कास्ट भी किया है.
अभी भी होता है मेरे साथ.
अभी भी होता है. अब तो नहीं हो रहा because you've actually delivered two massive
मतलब
hits in the box office.
at least the audience वो अपने आप आपस में डिबेट कर लेते हैं. पहले वो थोड़ा डिबेट नहीं था, पहले वो एक्विजिशन था. Now at least there is a debate, which is okay.
Did that piss you off?
Not really. I because I've stayed with. See, I've been on the other side now, so I understand where that comes from. Success has two meanings here: either lineage or corruption. You know, it can. There's no hard work attached to success. It's very difficult for people to accept that someone has worked hard. The industry people would know that. You know, they will see the hard work, but the common man, they don't know yet. So they'll always find ki cheat code hai. It's like, you know, middle class households, if anybody has money, that's black money. Right? Like you can't earn money in straight line. So that's how the society works. So when they started doing that, I'm like, yeah, I understand. Like, you know, that's the first thought even I would have had. If I was not in the game, if I didn't understand how the business is run, if I didn't understand how directors take calls, nobody's such good friends with you to cast you just because of friendship.
And screw up their own film because they don't believe in the talent.
For you to expect a Sudip Sharma or Avinash Arun or a Prosit Roy to do that, you must be naive to not know the kind of work they come from, you know, what kind of art they have created before. So they were just naive boys who were like frustrated with the whole casting system of, you know, them not finding work and, you know, blaming it on somebody कि अरे यार इसको easily मिल गया. And that happens even now. Not only with me, but probably with other casting assistants who are getting, like, you know, jobs. But they're all getting because of good acting. Asif, I cast him shamelessly in projects because he was very good. Asif Khan, he was, if you remember Panchayat mein Gajab Bejati hai yaar. He was also in this one, Jamtara.
You cast Jamtara as well?
No, we didn't.
Okay.
He was also in Paatal Lok. One of the guys, the Muslim guy. So brilliant actor. And then I saw him doing some of his own stuff. So, and I believe in that. Why shouldn't we support good actors? And there was always this thing about casting में ना एक चीज़ गौतम ने सिखाई थी जो मैंने कभी फॉलो नहीं की. मैंने गौतम से उल्टा किया वो हमेशा कि अगर तुमने किसी को कास्ट कर लिया है then you can't cast him again and again because like. But I'm like, if somebody is a good actor, and if I don't, and if I don't cast him, ऐसा थोड़ी कि बाकी लोग कोई उसको काम दे रहा है. So why can't I support a good actor by casting him again and again?
And not as activism, it's truly because you believe in someone's talent.
Not at all.
They'll bring something to the table.
Yeah, Amit Sial is brilliant. So why not cast Amit Sial in many projects? You know, Avinash Tiwari is great. So I have, like, you know, we used to always cast him till he found his way, and, like, you know, if he's doing great, that's amazing, no?
Yeah.
One guy who I knew that was struggling very hard, Avinash, or, you know, all these guys.
So there's a whole bunch of people. Ishwak Singh.
Yeah. पता है ना कि अच्छे हैं, but they were not getting their due.
In Paatal Lok, of course. That's the role you wanted, right?
Yeah.
And then what happened?
I don't know. Sudip saw Stree and he said
it's going to be this.
तो हथौड़ा त्यागी कर.
डरावने तो हैं आप वैसे उसमें.
हाँ, पता.
I mean that freaking scene, that school scene. Yeah. It's just gives you goosebumps. Yeah, that little school kid, that's you and the Hathoda. I remember speaking to you after you did that show, and one of the things you told me, which is stuck in my head, is that you learned empathy from playing that character of a serial killer who beats people with a freaking kills people with a Hathoda. Why would you say that? And of course, I want you to repeat because I think the audiences here need to know this. They taught you empathy.
Yeah, because I was looking for reasons. I was going through a process of rage. I was trying to develop rage in me for Hathoda Tyagi because I thought, okay, it's a very, you know.
Yeah.
But then I realized that actually it's not rage, it's disappointment, like, you know, which leads you to, be such a criminal. It's a disappointment with the society. It's a lost hope. And how do you justify that if he's a human? But if he has some empathy for animals, then
as the dog scene.
Yeah. So that made me like completely change my process of Hathoda Tyagi. So that made me fall in love.
If you can understand a serial killer, you're a scary person, boss.
You
think empathize with someone who's literally killing because he needs to kill.
But what to do? Like, as an actor, there's no other way for me.
Yeah.
I can't, the only character I have not empathized with is, I think, Apurva, Sukha. I think it's a very flat character for me. I can't empathize with guys like that. But even there, I tried to make him like a lover
character.
boy.
I mean, you can't possibly empathize with a child rapist.
Dhavle actually is the reason why I can play all these psycho characters or whatever these villainous characters.
That's Dhavle from Aji.
Aji, yeah. Because it's so bad that I can't think of something worse than that.
क्या हो सकता है?
हाँ, इसका क्या ही हो सकता है? So that's the worst mind space I've ever been in.
And that screwed you over, isn't it?
Yeah, it did. I had some really bad anger issues that time. Because it's all about power, right? Sex crimes are all about power. It's not really about sex. So that sense of power was like really troubling me, and it troubled me for a long time. And then I had to like, cut myself down. And then I realized that, okay, you need to get out of characters, man. You can't just be in character all the time. So that kind of craft, then I started, working on my craft rather than, being. Because sometimes being can really alter your emotions, and I don't want to alter my human emotions like that. I want to be neutral. It's very difficult for actors to be neutral. Because, and I used to, during acting workshops, it's a thing acting junkies will understand. They'll always tell you to have a neutral body and walk. So you don't have any character. You're just walking as a neutral body, and then you fill in the character. So I learned that after Aji, that, I have to work on my neutral self first.
Tell me something, and this is something that it's an observation, and obviously the way you have a 2018 theory, I have a theory about acting, and which is that if someone has a very defined personality, एकदम ही fully formed personality है ना, they may be great people, they may become great stars also. They're humongous stars, some of them. कि इसी तरह बोलते हैं, इसी तरह सोचते हैं, but they're terrible actors यार. Because nothing else enters, no character enters their body. Because they're so freaking solid. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
And that's why some of the greatest stars have been such terrible actors.
Yeah, but I don't know which greatest star has been a terrible actor.
I don't want to take names, obviously, because there are too many fans. I don't want to deal with their.
But I really feel that most of the greatest stars have all have some great performances. All of them. वो अलग बात है कि बाद में they might have
become caricatures of
performing, or they became like comfortable
in
their own skin or whatever, or people they're like इसमें चल रहा है तो मैं क्यों ना चलाऊं, वही बात है.
बिल्कुल.
I'm sure that happens. I'm
that's
sure
part
that
of stardom.
happen. Yeah, if it's working, why should I like really put an effort? But all of these legit great stars, my observation is that they were all terrific actors. And they all performed. एक दो फिल्म में उन्होंने मतलब
दिखा दिया कि मैं ये हूँ. हाँ. अब आपको यही चाहिए तो मैं यही करूँगा.
ले लो भाई, मैं क्या करूँ?
हाँ.
वो वाली
बॉक्स ऑफिस है.
Yeah. Right. So it's that I feel.
But let's say, for instance, if in this room, if Nawazuddin Siddiqui walked in, of course now we know who he is and all those things. Otherwise, in life, just walked in, he would be sitting there. We won't even know he was बैठा हुआ है. Because that is how completely he, melds himself to that environment. Now you can make him play anything, na? Yeah. Would you agree with that? कि ज़्यादा इतना strong personality is not a good thing. It should be a little malleable to play multiple things.
Yeah, well, I think it's time for that also. Like, you see like Nawaz Bhai, I don't know, for me he has an aura, like I always see him. But yeah, I mean, he can mold into any character. I think the same quality which Irfan Khan had. But of course, there is a personality and aura.
Of course there is, yeah.
So I think actors after a point, they start developing that. They start developing that personality or that aura. Only thing is you need to know when to break it. And that needs to be broken on set. And again, an example like Mr. Bachchan, he breaks his aura when he's on set. Suddenly he becomes like a normal person. Suddenly it will be like, अरे इलाहाबाद का कोई आदमी बैठा है. It will not be Juhu का कोई आदमी बैठा है. And that's the quality of, with some actors. I'm so like SRK, like he has this whole being. I don't know, I've not worked on set, but I'm pretty sure that he breaks that and then starts doing what he's doing. At least in the being on set. It's very important to break your aura. Varna fir wo.
But you mentioned Amitabh Bachchan, you mentioned SRK. We're in 2025, and and I can only get this perspective from someone like you because you're not just an actor, you're also someone for almost a decade you've looked at actors, and in a very dispassionate sort of way. Do you think it's really the end of the era of stardom? Because there used to be one time a monoculture, right? Like a mainstream, एक mainstream है, वो पिक्चर आती है, उसमें अमिताभ बच्चन या शाहरुख खान या सलमान खान होते हैं. अब सबके पास स्क्रीन है. The people here are also watching a screen while they're watching us. राइट उसमें कोई टिकटॉक स्टार है, कोई इंस्टाग्राम स्टार है, कोई यूट्यूब स्टार है, इतने सारे स्टार हैं और सबके नीशेस हैं that we don't gravitate towards one thing. Do you think that's really going to happen, or has it already happened, that it will never be the same again because the medium has changed in a certain way?
Yeah, it's going to be difficult to keep that kind of stardom in today's time, because you are also very familiar with your stars. You're familiar with their lives. There's no mystery around it. There's no magic around it. Now I think stardom is also about nostalgia.
Yeah.
There are certain stars because there's also nostalgia.
And so this lot will of course play the game.
Because
there is so much of baggage that they come with, amazing baggage that they come with. But the new lot is never going to be the same, right?
I hope they develop some kind of special communication skills with the audience. The problem is that when you're not really communicating with your audience with your craft or art, and it can be anything, even if you dance well, I think that needs to, transcend to the audience, that they also should feel the kind of rhythm or the beats which you feel. When a Shah Rukh Khan says his line or whatever, like Mr. Bachchan जब वो करते थे,
that X factor,
वो एक X factor होता था जो पूरी community आपसे converse कर रही है. They're talking to the entire community. Now I think it's become a little individualistic. कि आओ मुझे देखो. I think it will never work for that. I mean, that we're not living in that kind of society where people want to keep hero worship you. They want to appreciate you. So I think that kind of performances or that kind of personality being needs to be done rather than just being real stars. Everybody's trying to be real stars.
Like that is something perhaps. And I'm going back to Hathoda Tyagi only because it's been 5 years and people are still mentioning that because it just stood out, right?
Yeah.
So you're communicating something which has not been communicated before. I'm looking at someone I've not seen in the longest, in the sense of the character. Maybe it has to be in the writing sometimes. Although you had played like that guy with Astura, the compounder. You had played someone crazy in Mirzapur too, right?
Yeah.
But not as a full-fledged role.
Yeah, it was not a full-fledged role. In fact, Hathoda Tyagi was also a very small role. It just, I believe.
But you'll feel the presence even when he's not there on the screen.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the script.
Yeah.
But I think as a performer or as an actor, you need to have a conversation with your audience. And that conversation doesn't need to be direct, like breaking the fourth wall and all that, but internally. Like, what do you really want to communicate through your performance? What do you want to communicate to the audience through a character? And it can't be just as shallow as ki look at me. I think look at me is happening in Instagram so much that people are not coming for that on screen now. And that is why sometimes we say, the big star, big ticket films are not really connecting with the film. It's the same star, same dance or same action sequences, but the audience is like, but you're not talking to us. And we are somewhere we are distancing the audience from our own industry. We're trying to make that aspirational, but that aspiration value thoda khatam ho gaya.
Now they're looking at you at eye level.
Now they want relatable content, is what my understanding is.
Right.
That's why probably a Pushpa works brilliantly because
he's a working class hero.
He's a working class hero. Or a KGF works because he's somebody jiski maa ko roti nahi milta tha. Again the same 70s ka
80s
jo time
ka, especially 80s na, revenge dramas.
Exactly. So 80s, that has somehow coming back. 1990s was globalization for India.
Yeah.
So we were all enjoying the NRI kind of films and UK.
Looking at these locations.
Yeah. And now we know that
we've been there bhai aur mere reel pe bhi chal raha hai.
Exactly. और उतना सुंदर नहीं जितना तुम फिल्मों में दिखा रहे हो.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think they've forgotten that now. So now I think Indian rooted films or stories which are rooted to Indian culture, they are working more.
Right. Also, in your case, for instance, I mean, you look at something like Janaa, right? एक तो यार मुझे आप ये बताइए कि ये जो जना है, ये जनार्दन बन के आ जाता है भेड़िया में, राइट? उसके बाद ये मुंजिया में भी दिख रहा है एंड में. हाउ आर दे ऑल रिलेटेड बॉस? मैंने एआई को भी यूज किया है, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस को लगाया मैंने पता करने के लिए. तो ये जो जना है ये कजन है. ही इज अ कजन ऑफ भास्कर फ्रॉम भेड़िया, राइट?
करेक्ट.
अब दिल्ली से गए हैं वहां पे.
करेक्ट.
ये चंदेरी में इनके दोस्त रहते हैं.
करेक्ट.
विक्की और बिट्टू.
करेक्ट.
राइट. ये मुंजिया में एंड में कहां से पहुंच गए आप? और ये आप अरुणाचल प्रदेश गए पढ़ाई करने के लिए. आईएएस की तैयारी कौन करता है अरुणाचल प्रदेश में जाके यार?
No.
प्लीज एक्सप्लेन टू मी हाउ इज इट जना मेकिंग इट टू व्हाट इज नाउ कॉल्ड, एंड दैट इज व्हाट द व्यूअर्स नीड टू नो, बिकॉज़ इंटरनेट ने ये टर्म दिया है, मेडॉक हॉरर कॉमेडी यूनिवर्स. राइट.
Yeah, see, I think when Bhediya came to me, it was a different character. And then suddenly Amar Bhai had this idea ki why not the same character in a different universe. And I'm like, क्या बात कर रहे हो यार, ये accept करेगी audience, but they accept it.
And he's the producer for both.
Yeah, he's a director and producer for both.
Oh, so Bhediya was also directed by him.
Yeah.
I was under the assumption no, Munjia is only produced by him, not directed by him.
Munjia में तो वो end में डाला अपने आप उन्होंने, ठीक है, वो तो हमने
आपको बताया भी नहीं क्या?
बताया भी नहीं. स्त्री के I think स्त्री के shoot पे उन्होंने वो last part shoot किया and they put it there. So yeah, I mean it's a strange thing because स्त्री 1 में जना के साथ जो होता है, then the whole story is that the mother sends him off to Delhi कि तू अपने भाई के पास जा, ठीक है, क्योंकि तेरे दोस्त खराब है. एंड नाउ ही इज इन दिल्ली ट्राइंग फॉर व्हाटएवर आईएएस वाईएएस कर रहा है और 2 साल से वो कोशिश ही कर रहा है, उससे हो नहीं रहा है. एंड देन ही गेट्स इनटू दिस होल भेड़िया सिचुएशन. ओके. एंड इन भेड़िया देयर इज अ सीन व्हेन वरुण इज ट्रांसफॉर्मिंग एज अ वुल्फ एंड ही इज लाइक ये मैं गधा हूँ, मैं उल्लू का पट्टा हूँ जो यहाँ आया, लाइक यू नो कि मैं पहले चंदेरी में भी ये हो गया था मेरे साथ. एंड there's a clue there.
Yeah.
Okay. Then there's a clue again where he tells that Jomin character कि you know I'm really sorry that I bullied you, but the reality is that even I used to get bullied. But you know what, my friend, it's always about friendship. There were 2 friends who used to help me, so there were like all these hints. And in the end, of course, you see that
they come to get you.
In Street 2, when Jana has been bitten by that Sarkata, okay, he goes and he says sorry to Stree Didi, and then there's a whole outburst where he's like, कि मेरे साथ ही क्यों होता है? No, why am I like the guy where sometimes Stree is coming, then that Bhediya is coming, then so he has become that guy in the film where he's always going to attract some or the other supernatural trouble, not like normal trouble.
And you're literally the 1% part of all of these films. You're sorted, boss.
Yeah, I'm sorted, sir. It's my long-term provident fund program पूरा
retirement pension सब निकल जाएगा, पर ये तो चलता रहेगा ये.
till they want to cast me as Jana, because I know मैंने बोला कि भाई I don't think बहुत दिनों तक मतलब हम जना कर पाएंगे या like you know because we all it's supposed to be that young nice naive innocent energy. The more older we become, I don't think that वो energy आएगी, तो एक टाइम पे तो बंद करना पड़ेगा. Hopefully in next 5-6 years we'll have to stop that, but till then we can.
You never know यार. I mean वो चलता रहेगा तो वो बनता रहेगा. Right? It's as simple as that, isn't it?
अजीब लगेगा with wrinkles and all that.
We'll talk about it 10 years later. You'll still be doing it.
Let's see. Yeah.
But you know, but that really tallies well with what you're saying, Abhishek, about how the entertainers need to be at eye level of the audience, and that's really what you see in Stree. I was at the preview जो होता है with the public though, not a press preview.
Yeah, I know.
And I couldn't believe the audience response purely because not because बहुत सारी फिल्मों में लोग तालियां बजाते हैं, but they were laughing before the joke. They were getting scared before the scene. They wanted to love the film because they just love these characters, isn't it?
They just accepted the film. And I think we also did not know that this film is a rage in India. कि हर शहर हर गली में फैली हुई है, you know, and it has a very unique family connection where kids are growing up with this film, this franchisee. The parents are loving the fact that their kids are like, you know, interested in something, so they are also growing. So this is a growing franchise. It's going to be huge in the next 10-15 years. It's just the beginning. People are still discovering that okay, Bhediya is a part of Stree. Now Munjia 2 will come. Now Bhediya 2 will come. Now the whole, like you know, the classic whatever, the Mahayudh 1 and Mahayudh 2, all of that. So it's a long process, and I think entire generation is going to grow up with it.
I mean, so long as the films don't exist for the sake of existing, because it's going to do well anyway, right? नहीं तो And I'm not saying I mean it's been the case even with Hollywood, right? I mean वो MCU क्या है भाई, पक गए भाई, हर 2 हफ्ते बाद अगर आप मेरे को Marvel picture दिखाओगे वही चीज चल रहा है, then I mean they destroyed themselves, isn't it?
Yeah. But I know, but the good thing is that nobody's in a hurry. You know, they're not like bringing out a Stree 3 next year just because it's done well.
Yeah.
There's a proper plan to it. There's actually proper story weaving happening. And I know a little bit of it, so I'm like, oh, this is very interesting. Amar Kaushik, Niren, but I think there's a great Jodi combination, which is going to be like, they're going to really accomplish a lot of things in this industry, I feel.
In your case, when you look at the work that you've done as a casting agency, would you have cast yourself in this particular film?
Janaa for sure in Stree, yeah. And you know, when I gave the audition, I got rejected. So there was another guy who was supposed to do it. And that's why I say that Stree,
were you casting for this film? No.
No. There was this new guys, Shiv and Ashish, they were casting. In fact, Ashish is from Players. Crazy. But they were casting for it, and I was interested in bit 2, and I gave the audition for Janaa. I got rejected, but I knew it that there's no one who can do Janaa better than me. Somehow I knew it. And I kept telling Amar bhai. So I kept telling him that, you know, I'm
एक बार
बात तो हाँ, कोई नहीं कर पाएगा ये, उतना मतलब कॉन्फिडेंस मेरे को था. सो आई थिंक जना आई वुड हैव डेफिनेटली कास्ट माई सेल्फ. हथौड़ा त्यागी नेवर. I would have never cast myself as Hathoda Tyagi. So that's a I didn't see that in me.
Is there any other film or show that you wouldn't have cast yourself? But you got it, so you got it.
No, I think I would have cast myself in all.
So all your other contemporary casting directors got it right for you for most of the work that they've offered you so far.
They've not really offered me much. I think Mukesh has cast me in few projects.
Mukesh Chabra.
Yeah. And who else? No, that's it.
That's pretty much it.
Is
it a big fraternity in terms of the number of people? I know at some point there was no one. I think Tigmanshu Dhulia might well be the first casting director in Bombay, and that happened after Bandit Queen. That's like 94.
Yeah.
But for the longest.
And then Gautam Kishan Chandani and Hani Trehan. So these two were like
was with Vishal Bharadwaj.
Correct.
Right.
So they did 1971. Manoj Bajpayee. That entire. If you see the film, great casting.
Yeah.
So that was Gautam and Hani both. And then.
And then Gautam, I guess, continued with Anurag and.
Yes, Hani with Vishal sir. Vishal. You know, that happened. Then Abhimanyu Ray, he was casting for Chak De India and Shimit Amin films. And then Shanu Sharma, of course.
Who's with YRF. With
YRF right now. Nandini Shrikant, and she, Excel, all Zoya, Akhtar.
So it's a lot of people from a time when there was no one who was casting.
Yeah.
And I don't know how casting used to happen back then.
Yeah.
I guess it was easy because ये सारे characters हैं. वो police वाला मतलब the person who has a name in the Guinness Book of Records for playing the same role maximum number of times in the world.
ऐसे ही होती थी casting पहले. This is how it used to be. You know, like बहुत ही छोटा pool होता था. Casting directors ने क्या किया? Casting directors came and gave the industry a bigger pool. That's it. That's the thing which we did. I remember casting for Dirty Picture and Milan Luthria sir. He was like, अरे कहाँ हैं ये actors? मतलब कहाँ से ढूंढते हो तुम इनको? And I said कि सर यहीं है बॉम्बे में है. पृथ्वी में मिल जाएंगे आपको.
हाँ.
You know, कोई जाता नहीं था. Nobody had that, I think, that zest to go out and look for actors. Everybody wants to.
जान पहचान में हो जाएगा.
Easy way out. हाँ, जान पहचान में हो जाएगा. मैं इसको जानता हूँ, मैं उसको जानता हूँ. Also, I have understood after spending so many years in casting is that it's also one trust thing with directors and producers. कि यार, we want good energy on set. That's also something which is very important for actors to understand. That nobody wants to work with somebody who's being difficult or like indisciplined and things like that. Lots of humans working around you, lots of money riding on you, so you don't know, you need people who are like there to support the thing and not have fragile egos. So वो भी एक system है. So there were many times when we used to cast somebody and we used to like यार हाँ अच्छा है. Then production used to call and say कि अरे यार ये दारू पी के साला ये कर रहा है. Yeah, set पे यार.
जैसे background check होते हैं ना किसी भी job के लिए.
And then you are like, oh damn, now how do we rectify that? How do you know when somebody is like, being nice or like not nice on set? So
and that's why something called that that whole term which became huge when it comes to Bollywood, that whole nepotism comes at play, because I had this conversation a long time ago with Chunky Pandey, and he was talking to me about his daughter, of course, Ananya Pandey, but in general, and you get a sense like there is old money, there is old fame.
Yeah.
And the जिनको nepo kids लोग कहते हैं, वो actually the best behaved there. They are with least nakra because they've seen the ups and downs. They don't lose their shit if they become famous suddenly overnight, right? Would you agree?
I completely agree with that. In fact, my interaction with the nepo kids or whatever, the actors from
as
the
a casting agent, yeah,
as a casting director and an actor,
yeah.
In fact, as a casting director, I used to not really interact with them much, to be very honest. There were times when I used to meet some of them and I used to be like, "Arey, kyun aa raha hai yahan pe?"
हाँ,
you know,
तू वैसी lead play कर सकता है.
Just go and tell your father or whoever यार.
Yeah,
You know,
एक film तो मिल
why
जाएगी.
to do this whole drama
नाटक,
of
हाँ.
like
went through
I
auditions.
want to go
to
through
give
this.
interviews.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
went through audition.
Yeah,
18 rounds of audition. Yeah, really?
I've said that to many of them and they used to be like नहीं हमें खुद से करना है. I'm like यार कमाल है यार. मेरे होते तो मैं तो नहीं करता खुद से. मैं तो बोलता कि यार पापा कराओ या whoever मम्मी कराओ whoever कराओ. But I actually learned the work ethics from these actors, from these stars.
Film industry.
Yeah,
kids.
and you realize that that's a different league of understanding of how to work in this industry, which no film school will teach you. You know,
Their parents can teach you.
yeah, that only your parents can teach you. That and the parents are very strict. They are because those were first generation stars, na.
Yeah, yeah.
तो उन्होंने बहुत मेहनत करी है यार. तो they have really worked hard and they made name and 20-30 years of lineage and they're giving that to they're teaching that to their kids. And that is why they're so well behaved on set. They have that kind of sense of professionalism, humility, humbleness, everything.
Even if it's fake, it's okay to fake it, yeah.
Yeah, it's okay to fake it. It's okay, no problem. Like because at least you're being nice, na. मतलब आप फेक होके अच्छे ही बन रहे हो ना, फेक होके बुरे तो नहीं बन रहे हो. So that's good in a way. Because which many times which I think people who are not from the industry we lack. We don't know how to deal with it. Because see, one thing is also there that the respect just comes very easy if you're from the industry. Everybody on set will respect you because they know who you are.
Right. And they've probably interacted with that person whose kid you are, who must have been nice to you.
Yeah, even if you have not interacted, you know whose kid that person is. So there will be a very automatic respect which will come on set. There will be automatic respect which the EP will talk to the agent or themselves. तो बड़ा easy होता है. Now what happens with this is no sense of complaining or rant or anything but that, but just like a reality and it's very funny that when outsiders come in, the team, the core, everybody knows no क्या किया है, हाँ एक ही film तो की है, तो क्या like why should we pay him this much or why should we give him these kind of क्या कहते हैं luxury stuff or whatever जो उसको चाहिए, होटल कमरा ये क्यों दें. तो there are many questions asked to someone who is coming from outside कि why should we give you the worth. And less questions asked to somebody who comes from a lineage. So you're already accepting the fact that that person is worthy even if they have not really proven themselves or they have not proven themselves successfully.
Yeah.
So that comes very automatically and easily.
And same with the public, na?
Exactly.
वो बैठ के क्या follow कर रहे हैं आप इनको Instagram में? What have they done in life except being someone's kid? But you do.
I think.
And it works. Good for them.
And I feel also it's sometimes about it's a class thing in India where a security guard will probably stop a smaller car and let a bigger car enter without writing it on the register. ये उतना ही difference है. This is the difference I think. It's the lens, and that is why sometimes the actors coming from an outside background and all that, they want to have that authoritative or commanding presence on set and things like that, which is sometimes misunderstood.
They overdo it, na, sometimes.
Sometimes misunderstood as arrogance also.
Right, but they try to be assertive.
Yeah.
Don't take me for granted.
हाँ भाई,
नहीं तो एक देर को बजा देंगे.
In fact, I was told by an actor, he's a very dear friend and fantastic actor, relatively successful and all that, and he used to create some nuisance every time he's on set. So one day I went to him and like, भाई क्या हो गया, like why do you always do this? अच्छा खासा बंदा है, क्या हो जाता है? हाँ, like and I know you, so like why do you do this? And he's like करना पड़ता है. So I'm like, what do you mean by that? कि करना पड़ता है. Like then everybody starts taking you seriously on set. So the first days, this was his philosophy.
And it was working for him?
It was pretty much, yeah. That first days he used to go to the set and he used to like do something which used to be dramatic और सब line पे आ जाते हैं उसके बाद. That is how he used to, think about it.
Like, मेरा coffee कहाँ है? That kind of a thing.
Something, whatever. Costume में कुछ निकाल दे. ये shirt ऐसी क्यों है? You can find many faults. Shoot.
Male actor, I'm guessing. Male actor, right?
Male. Yeah.
But because it gets trickier when it's the female side.
Yeah.
And it's always been the case with casting, isn't it, when it comes to film industries. In fact, it's not just a Bombay thing, it's a world thing. And in fact, might be less in Bombay than in other industries in India itself. And which is the casting couch. That's one element of it. But more than that, I mean, there was that whole Me Too movement, right? Yeah. My colleague Mohar is here, and she wrote a lot of stories to do with and that was really calling out people who were predators at workplace, who were going after people in lieu of jobs sometimes, but sometimes not even jobs. It's just creepy behavior at the workplace. Yeah. It's sexual harassment. What else could you call it when it comes to what that movement was about? One, what did you make of it? Second, for whatever the reporting that happened around it, how much did the actual ground level things change after that movement?
I think and I hope less of coffee shop meetings and less of dinner meetings after Me Too. I think that's one change probably.
You can see it.
I can see it because when I speak to my female colleagues, I realize that now they understood that the guys have become a little smarter probably. They would not be as direct as that.
Yeah.
But otherwise it was a strong practice to have these coffee shop and dinner meetings for casting, which I never understood. Because I had a very strict rule in my casting company that none of you can go and meet an actor outside office space. And if you're meeting them outside office space, you're not meeting them as a casting director.
Yeah, you do whatever in your private life.
None of anybody's business. If I get to know that you've met an actor at some coffee shop for casting, you're fired. That was a very simple
And this
rule.
is before Me Too.
Much before.
That's pretty progressive, Abhishek.
Much before. Yeah. Because I really thought that why aren't we making... See, what I wanted to do in casting was that to eliminate the feudal behavior of, Aramnagar. Falana bhai ke office, Falana dada ke office. This is not gangsters. We're all creative people working in this industry, trying to be part of cinema, good cinema. And we're just all passionate people. Koi acha hai, koi bura hai, that's a different thing. But don't be in that space of पैर छू लेता हूँ, हाथ पकड़ लेता हूँ, and all of that. So that was the main motto between me and Anmol. Because we've been hearing so many. I remember when I used to cast, it was so difficult for people to accept that we were doing it without sex. कि हम काम कर रहे हैं, but हम only काम कर रहे हैं. Yeah, it was very difficult for the normal people.
Like they want to know कि अच्छा ठीक है cast तो कर दिया, but now are you gonna call me somewhere?
Yeah, exactly.
It was clear.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was very. I have had experiences where after casting somebody is people have said, oh, so now when and I go, what? You're a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
Why can't you just accept that? That there's no any prior motion, notion behind casting.
That's incredible.
Yeah. बहुत होता था ये. And lots of flirting and this and that. That's a very regular situation in a casting office, To change that and make it more organic, more professional, be like a space where you can just come, chill, have your coffee, smoke your cigarette, talk about your audition, not talk about your audition, talk about something else and just go. Like theatre, like players, the openness of conversation. That you can just find your tribe. And that's why many of the actors, I've actually had a great relationship with them because we used to have so much fun auditioning. Recently one actor met me and he's doing well. He's like, "Aapko yaad hai, aap mujhe kitna daatte the in an audition room?" And I'm like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's amazing, right? That I could actually be angry at an actor for not doing good. I didn't have to mince my words or sugarcoat it. कि नहीं यार तुमसे हो नहीं रहा, तुझसे नहीं हो रहा. And why aren't you practicing it? That kind of aggression in the casting rooms, but all for good.
They know you mean well.
Yeah. I'm trying to just help you.
Yeah. Not break their confidence.
Of course.
Yeah.
So that is that's something I think in due process happened, and now it is more a trusted industry than what it was before.
Wow. So literally, like when you've cast someone, it's understood that there'll be a quid pro quo sexually. That's how you started.
Yeah. It was when I started as an assistant. It was that. I've had situations where they'll be like, "अरे क्यों नहीं हो रहा मेरा audition? आप बताओ ना." Like,
हाँ बता दो ना क्या है?
That's because you're not acting well yet.
Yeah.
And how is that going to guarantee anyway that you're going to land up the role with the role? There's no guarantee.
I mean, do you think it also happens because it's the arts after all, and also while it's a profession, yes, but it's not profession in a way that say working in a bank would be. कि ये मेरा ऑफिस है 7:30 बजे मेरा खत्म हुआ काम मैं जा रहा हूँ घर. You know, you also sort of socialize with the people that you work with. Office नहीं है वो. That office can become a bar also and then turn into an apartment as well. वहीं से काम करता है, वहीं पे सो जाता है.
वहीं पार्टी भी हो जाती है.
वहीं पे पार्टी भी हो जाती है. उसी ऑफिस से पार्टी होती है. It's that thing about workspace and private space is far. They mix too much. You think in show business?
They do, of course they do, and all young people around ना ऐसा थोड़ी मतलब they're all same age group. And also different power structures. Someone is lower, someone is higher. So it's like how to mingle, how to be in a space where okay, am I going to be invited in different events? That's also mindset, na.
To that party.
I need to be invited in these events and parties so that I can get work. So there's a lot of those cliches which thankfully I hope that now those cliches don't work anymore. People are really.
You actually kicked out someone from your agency.
Many. Yeah. Many.
Like how many?
5, 6.
5, 6.
Yeah.
And what did they do?
Some random message to an actress. And you won't believe that there have been instances where somebody would tell me complain about my own staff, but they would be very apologetic about it. कि उसको निकालना मत types, you know.
But उसने ऐसा बोला.
But I'm like यार come on ना मतलब so इतना डर या whatever is there कि काम नहीं मिलेगा, blacklist हो जाएंगे, ये हो जाएगा, वो हो जाएगा. There's so much fear in terms of especially people with that kind of power position, and casting direction happens to be a very powerful position in this industry. It is not about one project, right? One director, one producer is just casting you in one project. The casting director can like cast you in 10, 20, whatever number.
And you have access to information that nobody else
does. So it's a very powerful position. So to humanize it is the most difficult part. You know, to humanize a casting director, to humanize a casting chair.
तो sleazy नहीं है.
हाँ, sleazy नहीं है और power play भी नहीं है. कि कोई तुम्हें ऐसे भी नहीं देख रहा कि हाँ अच्छा बैठो. I don't like that kind of attitude of casting, fraternity. If anybody follows that, क्यों यार? Why can't this be normal? If you and sometimes even now when there are times when actors would call me and sir कि एक मौका दे दो. You know, on those filmy dialogue and all that. Now, even though I'm not casting, I'm like, क्या हो गया? And I'm like, नहीं sir, बहुत मजबूरी है. I'm like, do you think every majboor person can just call somebody and ask for a job, and that's how it should be? You know, why aren't you like finding a solution for your majboori? So now these are like, I mean, you have to be assertive sometimes so that they don't take you, because it's very misunderstood कि ये LinkedIn नहीं है कि आपने CV डाला और काम मिल गया.
Okay.
You know, आपको काम मिलेगा अगर आपके ऑडिशंस अच्छे होंगे तो, और अगर आप क्रैक नहीं कर पा रहे हो तो देन लेट्स गो बैक एंड एनालाइज कि यार समथिंग इज गोइंग रॉन्ग. मेनी एक्टर्स वुड से ना इतने सालों से ऑडिशन दे रहा हूँ हो नहीं रहा है, मतलब कि कुछ गड़बड़ है सर. ऑडिशन में प्रॉब्लम है, नॉट योर रिलेशनशिप विद द पर्सन.
राइट.
बिकॉज दे टेक इट एज अ रिलेशनशिप इशू कि आपको मुझसे भी प्रॉब्लम है क्या.
It's so common, na?
Yeah. So that is the main battle.
Have you had situations in your office where the same person is being showing up again and again? Sir, आप मुझे cast ही नहीं कर रहे हो, मैं निकलूंगा ही नहीं. Like those kind of situations, because it was a very common story back in the day.
Yeah.
There have been self-immolations outside Mahesh Bhatt's office. वो अपने आप को जला ही रहा है कि आप मेरे तो देख नहीं रहे हो sir. Madness, yeah.
I've gotten those kids like or the guys and said कि चलो they audition. ये scene है, 2 घंटे तेरे पास, 2 घंटे में जितना याद कर सकता है कर और आजा ऑडिशन में. देन सम ऑफ देम वुड बी सो बैड, वो खुद ही बोल देंगे फिर कि सॉरी हमसे गलती हो गई, या यू नो समथिंग हैपेंड. सी यू हैव टू ऑलवेज फाइट देम विद देयर क्राफ्ट ओनली. कि अच्छा तू जेन्युइनली है तो करना, लाइक यू नो आई एम गिविंग यू 2 hours, एंड देन दे विल फॉल्टर विद दैट. देन सम ऑफ देम विल नॉट बी receptive about their criticism. You know, you are saying I'm a bad actor, but probably I'm not.
But you know, one of the reasons why there could be so much, resentment against what is called the Nepo kids is that they don't have to go through this. That's a fact, na?
See, sir, I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's a fight of class. It is not about nepotism. It's a fight of class. And India is a developing country. It's a developing nation. And we can't do anything about it. That most of our grandfathers or, fathers were not like well-to-do. And some of them are well-to-do, हमेशा कम percentage ही होने वाला है.
It's not understood, Abhishek, that Al Pacino's kid will be an actor necessarily. It's not understood that De Niro's child will definitely get the lead
But they
role.
can.
They can, I don't know.
But they can. I'm just saying it just makes it easier for them. It just makes it easier now. Their kids want to do it, not do it, that's on them. But they can. If tomorrow Al Pacino's son or daughter wants to act, you think it's going to be difficult?
Audition तो देगा वो.
Audition
But यहाँ भी दे देंगे.
वो भी दिखाने के लिए होगा ऐसा audition, वो भी दिखाने के लिए होगा sir. It's like there's a system. It's their choice whether they want to do it. Here I think it just becomes like an open thing. Like if my father was something, or the immediate choice is that I'll also become an actor, or try my hands in acting, or be famous. I think that's the main thing. It's not about being an actor. Being famous.
I mean, now you can be famous with anything. You can do one random reel that becomes viral and you're probably famous.
Yeah, exactly.
As you come to Bombay.
I mean, you spend a lot of money, you can be famous without doing any acting.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, host a wedding and.
You can do whatever. You can be famous on pap pages.
Yeah.
Every day something can come about you, and you don't know who this person is, but you will keep seeing that person and again. The person, celebrity, whatever.
हो ही गया, हाँ.
हो ही गया ना. अब 10 लोग उसका मजाक भी उड़ा रहे हो, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? वो तो in his circle or whatever, he is a famous person. So it's about fame. It's not about acting, and that's.
What is it about for you?
For me? I mean, fame was obviously one major reason why I chose acting. I think I was very happy being famous in school and college. Because I was the only child, the introvert kid, the shy kid who got a let out in this space. And people started taking you seriously. That's one very simple thing. Now, ab maza aane lag gaya hai. Now I can't explain. Now it's an obsession. It's becoming more sort of an addiction. I don't know if it's right or wrong or healthy or not. I have no idea. But it has definitely becoming more like an obsession. And the more I think about it, I'm like, I don't think I'm thinking straight. Why am I like craving for like stories? Why am I craving for these performances? And after a point, you don't even expect anything out of it. I mean, you always feel that, it's on me. It's not on anybody else to like, give whatever I want to myself. So it's becoming more of that. It's becoming like a obsessive drive.
We could continue this conversation forever, Abhishek, but I'm going to end this right now. With the hope that we continue also at some point.
Yes.
And I'm going to end with a request.
Yes.
And you can't say no purely because the last time we were supposed to do this, you fell sick. We had this whole team and that had to go. So now you owe me one.
Okay.
And the request is this. You started out as the voiceover artist on Gustakhi Maaf.
Okay.
Right? And that was a show on NDTV where you would play other people's parts as the voice.
Yeah.
I want you to leave our viewer with a sampling of Gustakhi Maaf. We kind of grew up on that show. When I think about it, it was very goofy in its own way.
Very goofy.
Political,
very goofy.
Humor to khatam hi ho gaya abhi.
Yeah.
उस समय होता था थोड़ा बहुत. And you were the voice.
Yeah.
So Abhishek, leave us with.
I mean, it should be all scripted, but I think I'll try. अरे यार मैंने बहुत दिनों से मिमिक्री नहीं की है.
I know, that's why I gave a whole background so that you can't say no.
Okay, let me try. नमस्कार देवी और सज्जनों, मैं हूँ अमिताभ बच्चन और आप लोगों का स्वागत है गुस्ताखी माफ में.
Thank you very much for joining us on the Bombay Film.
I should actually do Rajnath Singh. अरे भाई बेटा. मुझे याद नहीं मतलब मुझे याद नहीं है कुछ. Like that, something like that, and Sachin Tendulkar आयला. All of that. So it used to be like a lot of different voices. In fact, I used to do Abhishek Bachchan's voice because apparently my voice is very close to him. I don't know.
Were you named after Abhishek Bachchan?
No. I hope not.
Amitabh Bachchan, your dad was a fan.
But my dad was a huge fan. He always said that my mom looks like Rekha. So I think that's why I'm the son of my father and Rekha.
Let's not go there. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Your window to India and the world. Midday. Local Pulse, Global Perspective.